How are my favorite girls in the world doing? I am so excited to be here, and oh my god, it's already December, and honestly, I'm ready to lock it in. I'm ready to start setting the tone for 2026 because we need it, okay? This was a hell of a year, and I mean hell, emphasis on the hell part. I know a lot of us were going through it because it was year 9, but right now we're really moving towards a new beginning, and I just feel like this energetic buildup needs to be used. We need to take advantage of it. So to me, New Year's Eve is literally one of my favorite times of the year because it's when I start setting the vision. It's when you get to reflect on the year that you've had, all the lessons you've learned, and also all the things that you want to leave behind because they don't serve you anymore, and you finally recognize that. And to use that knowledge and integrate it to 2026, that's the best gift you can give yourself. So I really want to start, talking about this. And honestly, until the end of the year, this is all I'm going to be about. I'm just so fucking excited because last year I did not get the opportunity to do a vision board. I just felt like it wasn't the right time, and I'm glad I didn't. But at the same time, every single year that I have set a more clear intention and vision, it has helped me so much to move forward and to really create the momentum and honestly just have a lot more of courage, because I think that courage also needs direction. If you don't know where you're going, it's just so much easier to choose to settle and be in your comfort zone, because why would you risk it all? Why would you put yourself where it feels uncomfortable, where you might go into a little bit of an anxiety or panic mode, where things feel so much more volatile? Why would you go there if you don't even know why you're doing it for, right? So I think having direction really helps you continue to assert yourself throughout the year and continue to move with more intention. And I talk a lot about that because that's been such an important part of my growth, and not just mine, but everyone that I've seen around me that has grown so much, they do that with intention. They do not live on autopilot, and I think that's so important. So to start the year and already having such a clear vision or clear feeling, because that's equally important, clear feeling on what you want your year to look or feel like, that's the most important thing ever. And some people would say, okay, that the new year starts in spring. Sure, if you're that girly, go ahead, wait for then. But honestly, first of all, we're not waiting. At least when it comes to me, I'm not waiting. Every single moment I get to change, adjust, and integrate so that I can move forward quicker, smoother, and ultimately with more alignment. I don't care what day of the year we are in. I don't care. I'm going to do it. So if you can take this moment and start realigning a bit, readjusting, no matter whether you're feeling the energy or not, just taking that moment to be slightly more intentional, slightly more reflective, it's already going to do you so much good, right? So you can wait for spring to do your big ritual, but me personally, I don't know, I just feel like the energy to me of the New Year's Eve, there's literal fireworks. I don't feel like there's anything more catalytic to me than that. So go ahead, you can wait for spring. But I feel like if you're here, you're probably already starting to feel okay, it's time that we start setting the vision. It's time that we lock it in for 2026, and I'm so fucking excited for you. Okay, this is good. This is a good thing because again, we went through hell this year. It was tough as fuck. It was a year 9, as I think I've said before. And this year did not play, okay? Or it more played with us. I went through so much shit this year, but it also did help me grow and get to where I am right now. So it is important and so valuable to also have that reflective moment, which is everything that I'm starting to work for. Because when 31st hits, girly, I'm all of me is going to be about setting my vision board, setting my goals for the year, locking it in to the point where my entire body feels like it's already happening, that's already my reality. Because that's the beautiful thing about taking that much space and time to really set it in, is that it really anchors into you, and you get to have the firsthand feeling and recognition of what that looks like, of what that that reality existing already within you. And so I think that's really, really important, and that's why all these different portals, and there's also the 888 or 88 portal in August, like all these different portals of energy, like they are super impactful, but not just because they're portals and not just because of the angel numbers, but mostly because you sit down and fucking think about it. Like you sit down and actually take a moment to, instead of just being on autopilot and letting your routine take over, you kind of take a second to think. You kind of take a second to like sit in that vision. And I think that's so powerful. And I want to do more of that for 2026. So there's definitely a lot of reflecting going on right now. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way. You can obviously like share with me in the DMs. You guys know I love talking with you. But yeah, like to me, that is really important right now. I'm not being like fully intentional about it yet because I feel like it's early, so I still have my time. But I am starting to reflect on it, to feel more just more reflective about the whole thing, and really understanding where I want to take my 2026. So inspired by that and all the kind of realizations and the lessons that have been hitting me in a way that I feel like I'm finally taking the shit show that was this year and actually making it into something good, actually making it into something that I can use in my favor. I feel like I can finally talk about this, and that's why today I really wanted to choose, besides just the whole 2026 thing, I feel like a lot of us want to live bigger, and a lot of us want to just fall in love with life and feel like we're so open and expansive, and there's a lot that goes into that we don't think about. We might think that we're open to life, but what I've come to realize through my own experience this year is that we often protect ourselves from the world and from truly opening up because, it requires a certain level of vulnerability. It requires you to be exposed to possible rejection, to awkwardness, to boredom, to all these different things that don't feel good in our bodies. And if we don't put ourselves out there, if we don't challenge ourselves a little bit, again, it's so easy to like retrieve and go into your bubble. And I've noticed that, especially now that I do enjoy my company and that I have a good time by myself, like it is so fucking easy for me to just stay home or just like go on my solo days, which is valuable, it is important, but like it shouldn't be the only thing happening in your life. Just like I've noticed that I was like really focused on work and business and all these different things, which again is important, especially in your 20s. It's good to like figure out your career path and all of that, because obviously like it's a big structural part of your life. And I am actually getting counseled on that right now. Like I actually have a therapist / counsel that they're helping me figure it out. And I think that's amazing when you know that, you want support, you want some guidance, you want some perspective. I think that's super important if you come from a place where people thought small and maybe you felt like there was only one way that you could do things and that you could live your life, and to have people around you that kind of give you that vision, that broaden your horizons, that's really important. But I'm going on a tangent here. My point being that I just feel like it's really important to realize when you are actually not that open to life, not that open to the world, and how you can put yourself out there more, because there's so much value in that. There's so much value in living with an open heart and not letting yourself be shrunk by your own fears and your insecurities and your comfort zone. That's the biggest shrinker ever. It's like you're just so comfortable where you are that you never really challenge yourself to like move outside of that. And that's when you start really like feeling like your life is becoming smaller and smaller, and it starts losing that spark and that meaning, and suddenly it feels like you're really closed off to life, closed off to the world. Like suddenly things are not flowing, and that's why, and that's what I really realized in the past few months. Like it was such a hard year that I really retrieved and I really went into my bubble, and I got scared, girls. Like I got scared of life. I got scared of the world. I got scared of getting hurt and of letting things work out, and then like suddenly something happens, because it was just hitting after, like, over and over and over again, and I just couldn't take any more hits, and I know that was a natural process, and that I needed my time to finally feel safe again. But it was also an intention, because I could have come into this place of safety and then continue to like hide, so it was intentional. And thankfully I have people around me that inspire me and that kind of push me in a way, even if they don't do it directly, but just the way they live inspires me to live too. And so I started looking around me and honestly recognizing that I was so jealous. I was so jealous of everyone around me. I was so jealous of these people on social media, traveling, living their lives, like being so extroverted and meeting new people and actually fucking living. And I was like sitting behind a screen, like complaining about my life and not feeling that fulfilled lately. And then I realized, like, I am not living. Like, most of my days I'm either working or working, because it's like I'm either working for my business or I'm working for my job. And that was literally my existence. My entire schedule, my entire life, my entire energy was like put onto these two very specific areas of my life. And it was draining the life out of me. It was making me feel smaller when life is so big and it has so much to offer, but you need to be the one to take that invitation because it's there. And something my counselor said that I loved, it was like, you just go there and grab it. You just go there and grab it, because all these opportunities are out there for you. All these riches, the abundance, the like friends, the experiences, like all those different things that you desire, they are out there, but you need to go there and grab it. You need to go there and take it. You cannot wait for things to be delivered into your home without really, setting up your address on the app, or without like ordering something. Like, I don't know, like, start putting yourself out there more. And I feel like that's one of the things about living bigger. It's just really putting yourself out there and actually living with an open heart and saying, this might not be perfect. This might be awkward. This might feel strange. This might be uncomfortable. This is a new experience for me. But you know what? Like, I want to try this and I want to explore. And I want to follow this feeling that I have inside of me. And I want to meet new people. So to meet new people, you're going to have to be a stranger, And to fall in love, you're going to have to have small talk. I don't know. Right? And so you need to be willing to trust that process as well. And to me, that was really fucking important lately. And just in literally, girl, like, in a couple of weeks of me starting to be more intentional about that and really like starting to make space for my life, suddenly I was like, fuck, oh my God, like life is awesome. And I just had the best experiences like this weekend that I chose. I put myself out there and it was scary, but once I did it, I don't think I'm ever going back, like I don't think I could ever be the same after that, because it just opened up something in my brain. Like I've been so excited since the weekend, I'm going to be talking about it either way. So basically I went into this open mic night where basically, you go into a bar and there's many different people, amateurs, artists, like literally every single level, that go into the stage and they share their songs or they do a cover, but basically like they sing. It's not like a karaoke because you usually have your own instruments or blah, blah. So it's really a place where all these different people who love music and love art come together to express themselves and sometimes showcase their, artistry, showcase their talents, showcase maybe something that they're trying to promote. But other times it's just literally to have fun. Like there were some silly ones that were so fucking funny. and it's just a place where you can really express yourself. And I've done it once in Lisbon, in a very different context. We were gonna see a friend, and I was just like, I really want to do it. I really want to do it. And we figured out a way, and I was able to like sing live in front of like, it was a small room, so it was like 10 people or something, maybe 20, but it was a small room. And it felt different because I guess I was there with friends, and it felt like a more, it was like a more of a cozy space. So it didn't feel so exposing, but this one was so different because obviously like I'm in a new country, and everything feels uncomfortable. First of all, like when you are in a new country, everything is exciting and uncomfortable at the same time, because you feel like everything you do, you're kind of exploring and you're trying something new, because even if it's kind of the same as you would do back home, it's never actually the same. Like it always requires a certain type of like discomfort or a bit more like fear or, intimidation, which is perfectly normal because you're trying something new. It's slightly out of your comfort zone. So it's normal that it brings up those feelings. And doing this open mic, I've been craving to sing, to like actually sing, to let my voice out for so long, because unfortunately I can't really do it here. My neighbors suck. My neighbors suck. Girl. Like, they are so fucking annoying. They literally complained to my host parents because I was singing. And I was like, are you fucking joking? Like, do you want to torture me right now? Like, this is torture. Not being able to sing is absolute torture. Like, my 10-day silent retreat with 8 hours of meditation per day was less torture than this. Okay? Like, that's how torturous this is. And so I was like, okay, fuck it. I need to figure this out. So I was looking for an open mic place, and I found one, and it was the best night ever. And there's so many details that go into it, and I don't want to get into that right now because I could literally sit here for an hour and talk about it. I'll save that to my best friend. But oh my god, it was better than an orgasm. It was such a... I felt like I was flying. I felt like I was levitating. You know that like that what's it called? That sticker that people use on TikTok or blah, 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 from Genu, the K-pop Demon Hunter guy. And he's just like levitating with the headphones, like preaching to the choir. Can I get to make a little higher? You know that? I literally felt that way. I was just like ascending. I was ascending to another realm. Okay. Like I sang 3 songs and I was super nervous. My voice was shaking. I was like, I was like vibrato, vibra much. I don't know what I'm doing. But like, it was so good. It was so good. And people loved it. They were like insane about it. They were complimenting me left to right. They all loved my performance because you know what? Like I put my heart out into it and it was so fun. It was so exciting. And I felt so alive. I felt so alive that I still have adrenaline. Like just talking about it, you can tell by my voice. Like I can't stop smiling. And that was so fucking exciting. And I can't stop thinking about it. Like now I'm literally like already making a plan of like, oh, I want to collaborate with this one guy that like played this thing and maybe we can like do a song together. And then, oh my God, like let me do a list of all the songs that I want to do. Like, let me put up a little challenge. Oh my God, let me actually buy a keyboard and start practicing at home. Like, oh my God, let me actually start writing some new songs and just like do it for fun. Once a month, I'll like write a new song and then present it there. Like, that's how consuming that has been, but that's what I mean. Like, it's okay to be obsessed about life. I think that's how we should feel. And sometimes we're obsessed for certain things, but for the wrong reasons. We're obsessed because we're in lack, kind of like how I was with my business. And sometimes I still find myself like obsessing, checking my Instagram all the time. Like it's gonna change, like, I don't know, in a second. It's just like the constant, like, you know, helicoptery vibe that I have, and it's an obsession, but it's in a different way. It's in a healthy attachment rather than when you're like genuinely obsessed and you're just like having fun with it and you feel alive. It's a different energy, and it just made me realize like this is what I want for 2026. So we're gonna circle back, okay? I hope I didn't lost you. Okay. No, but seriously, like that was such a... eye-opening, soul-opening, heart-opening, pussy-opening moment, okay? That was just so fucking special to me, and it really inspired me to talk about this today. So we're actually gonna go. I still haven't even started. You girls already know how I am. Like, I can talk for fucking days. I haven't even started with my showcase note. My show notes, okay? But actually, I do have some step-by-step guidance, I would say, in how you can start living bigger, okay? But I just really wanted to give you some context first, because I feel like this is the energy that we want to bring into 2026. It's going to be year 1 in numerology. It's the perfect year to do this. It's the perfect year to start opening up again. And by the way, if you're not really feeling that energy right now, it's okay, because you're not in the energy to set up the vision yet, but maybe you are in the energy to start reflecting. So whatever you feel like you're in right now, start. You do not have to make a 360 change to already celebrate how much you've overcome and how much you've grown. Like, you do not have to change overnight in order for your growth to be deemed worthy or enough. And I think that's really important, because we're usually so harsh with ourselves, and we're constantly putting our future selves on a pedestal, and we don't really realize that the person we are today, like our 10-year-old self, would be so proud of us. Like, our 10-year-old self, she would literally be admiring the shit out of you. She would be like literally eyeing you on the street and being like, oh my God, I wish I could be her. Oh my God, look at her confidence. Oh my God, look at her doing this and that. And a lot of the times that's how we would feel. And if that's not true to you, then this is the perfect moment for you to become that person, for you to become that version of yourself. And believe me, you can, okay? Because I was also someone I wasn't necessarily proud of, and I didn't necessarily like, because I really wasn't living in my truth. I was living in my fears, and I was living with like all this pain that I wasn't really like letting out. But the truth is, like, when you truly open up, I think you really come back into that like purity, wonder, energy of the inner child as well, and it really helps you find magic again and feel alive again. And last week I talked about bringing your spark back, and I think this is kind of the follow-up on that episode, because when you start reconnecting to that spark, that's when you are also gonna open up to that potential of living bigger. So I think those two are 100% interconnected, and so I don't want to really go into it. You can definitely listen to last week's episode. It was brilliant, okay? But yeah, let's start. Let's start after 22 minutes. Let's start. No, but seriously, like, I think something that I really want to start by saying is that your version of living big does not have to look like everyone else's. And I think that was really important for me this year. Like, I don't know what it is in your 20s. I don't know what's up in the air when you're in your 20s, but it really is the moment where you're questioning everything, and you're really like relearning who you are, relearning life. And I think that's good, because a lot of the times we don't really grow up with the best basics. We don't really grow up with the best foundations, with the best belief system, with the best, like, sometimes we really grow up with the wrong ones, and that's when it starts limiting us. But we get to question it, and we get to really decide whether the way we grew up and the things we were taught serve us or not. And I know it feels weird to say that, because sometimes we take it as such a an universal truth, but then we see other people who are not living by those rules and who are living in a different way and proving those beliefs wrong, and that's when you start questioning. And so I think actually social media can be so beautiful in that way, because it puts you in contact to different realities when you choose so, right? So I think that's really important to understand, that your version of living big is not going to look like someone else's. Like, you really have to find your idea of big, right? Because sometimes we think living big is about having more money or having more material things or looking a certain way, like being perceived a certain way by the people outside of us. This is not about other people seeing us succeed. This is not about proving others that we were worthy all along and that we were capable all along. Because I know, at least for my personal experience, it was such a big trap for me. Like, I was more concerned in my deep down subconscious mind, I was more concerned with proving my parents, my family, like everyone who ever doubted me or denied me whatever wrong. I was more concerned with proving them wrong than really listening to myself and to what I wanted. And instead I was just putting so much pressure on my business, on my life, because I wanted it to look good enough for me to say fuck you and for me to finally also prove to myself that I can do it. Because deep down, like if you're trying to prove someone wrong, you're trying to prove yourself wrong, because it would not matter if you believed in yourself, right? So I think that's been also something that I've had to confront a lot. It's like I still struggle to believe in myself when it comes to especially my career and being successful. And that's because of all these different things and beliefs that I grew up around that made me feel like I wasn't capable and that I wasn't enough and that I wasn't, I guess, worthy or capable of being successful and having the life that I wanted, because I've always thought differently. I've always done things differently. And it made me feel like because of that, I won't be able to be successful, because my family was so traditional. Like they were all about studying and having a degree and like working hard to make money, you know, like I'm sure a lot of you relate to that. And it just sucked the life out of me, because a part of me, I think, always felt like that couldn't be true. That couldn't be the only truth. And I've spent my entire life trying to deny it, but deep down a part of me was scared that was true. So really having to confront all these belief systems and all these rules that we set for ourselves, all these different standards and versions of like reality that deep down don't serve us. I think that's the most important part. And I'm guessing this year you had to go over that a little bit, because this year, oh my God. So I'd say that's where you should start, actually, like really understand what your version of living big means and don't compare it to anyone else's. Because again, social media can be incredible to like help you open your horizons, but it can also be shit when you're starting to compare yourself and you get FOMO and you're looking at other people do crazy things and you're like putting it on a pedestal and you're wanting to do the same, and you don't even know half of the truth, because you know on social media you mainly share the good stuff, and that's just part of life, you know. But you know, you get a wrong perception of their reality because they're not showing you their reality, not completely. And also because like sometimes it looks incredible, but it doesn't mean that it's for you. Like for example, there's these people who are into like really crazy shit. Like there's these girls that went into China, Japan, one of those. Kung Fu. Kung Fu is what? Chinese? Oh well, and they basically like spent a few months learning Kung Fu, right? And it made me feel like, ooh, this is cool. But deep down I was like, what am I saying? Okay, I would never want to do this like for a day maybe, but like not for months. That is no. Or other people who go into the desert for however many days and do these like crazy things, and I'm like, it almost makes you want to do it because, you know, the soundtrack and the visuals and everything feels so pleasing, so what's the word, so desirable, right? But it doesn't mean that it's for you. And I think really understanding what fills your cup, what fulfills you, that's the most important thing. And it does not have to look social media worthy. It does not have to look perfect. It does not have to look aesthetic. It doesn't have to become a fucking reel. And I'm saying that as someone who creates content, it's so easy to get wrapped up in that. And so I think that was really important for me to understand, like, your version of big is your version of big, and figuring that out and really exploring that, because it's not something that you're just gonna understand by thinking a lot, you know, because overanalyzer, overthinker over here, and it's gonna block you more if you keep going into your head instead of like actually doing things. So exploration, like active exploration, is really important in this process, and it's going to help you understand and discern and just really adjust over time, over your own experience. So first thing that you really want to do is open yourself up to that exploration of, okay, like, ooh, I kind of like this. I kind of like that. This I've always wanted to try out. This actually, like, I've always wanted to try out, but it actually sucks and it's actually not for me. And I think that's what living big is. It's not about getting it right all the time. It's not about living perfectly. It's not about being positive all the time. It's about living, truly living, like actually like being an active participant in your life, because so many times we put ourselves in like the back seat, and then we just, whoever is on the what's it called, the driver's seat, and is doing that on autopilot, and we're not giving much thought into that, and suddenly we look outside and it's like, oh, this is going to shit, like I don't want to go this way, you know? So really like taking the front and assuming control of not assuming, I don't think that's how you say it in English, taking over control over your life. I think that's so important. And so that's the first thing that I really want you to think about. Like, think about your values and your passions and the things that light you up, the things that you enjoyed doing as a child. Like I talked a little bit about this in the last episode, but think about that. Don't really let the measurement of how big you're living be something that you're comparing to other people, or that you're using your family standards and whoever you grew up around. Don't use their guidelines. Like really decide for yourself what feels good and what doesn't, and explore what does. Keep exploring, keep leaning into the things that bring you more of the things that you want, if that makes sense, right? So if you want more peace and you find something that makes you feel peaceful, do more of that, or explore more things around that, you know? And if you want more excitement and you're, I don't know, traveling, and you don't like this particular way of traveling, so you try a different one. Like instead of backpacking, you want to, I don't know, like maybe save up every month a little bit and go on a different type of trip. Like, you know, like you get to decide, you get to explore. It doesn't have to be a perfect decision. I think sometimes we really hold ourselves back because we're like, oh, what if it's not perfect? Oh my God. The amount of times I've let my perfectionism stand in the way of me and a bigger life. And it's because it's a way for you to protect yourself. Like your perfectionism is the biggest way that you keep yourself in your comfort zone, because it's like, oh, it's not perfect, it's not ready yet, it's not blah blah, oh, but what if this happens, or what if that, you know? But it's literally just holding you in your, like holding you hostage in your comfort zone, because obviously like your brain is always going to try to, you know, find a way out of having to do the thing and having to like follow this comfort. So I think that's really important for you to also recognize, like my perfectionism was playing out so much and it wasn't allowing me to like go for it. Like, oh, I want to have a guest on the show, but I want to have them in person. But like, okay, but now I don't have that type of knowledge or condition to make that happen. So am I not going to invite this person just because it's not like perfectly exactly as I want it? No, I'm going to invite them. Or, oh, I really want to like find a choir or sing more, but I don't know how to do it. And I don't know if there's any place that I'm going to like. So I'm just going to sit back and not do it at all. Like, no, like go search. There's Google for a fucking reason, you know, like go put yourself out there, explore, let yourself make mistakes and figure it out as you go. Like my best friend says, Lisa, I'm gonna quote her right now, fuck around and find out. And honestly, I think I'm gonna put that on my vision board actually. Fuck around, find out. That's gonna be one of my mottos for 2026, like seriously. And so I really want you to understand that the most important part of living big is that you get to do it by your standards and your rules. And the most it's relevant that you understand yourself the most, right? It doesn't fucking matter what others think or others want for you, or other people's versions of right or wrong. What matters is what feels good to you, your passions, your values. So really having that like written down. I've done that like this year. I actually do that every year pretty much, but I've done that this year. And now especially that we're going into 2026, like having that understanding of what you truly value, like really coming up with like 4, 5 core values or whatever, whether that's peace, excitement, love, family, exploration, creativity, like whatever, right? But really understanding these values of yours and why they're so important to you, because again, knowing your why matters so much. It helps you move. So really getting a deeper look into yourself, into your heart, and what really calls you, what really drives you, and then using that as fuel to get it moving. So I think that's the most important part. And And then really starting to set up the vision, that's what you want to do. Like, you want to start creating the vision around that. So for example, I really wanted to bring more music into my life, and I started thinking, maybe a choir, maybe blah, blah, blah. And you start exploring. And now that I have explored, now that I've gone to the open mic, like, that helped me. That like ignited something in me. That woke something in me that's like, I know exactly what I want for 2026. Like, I already know some of my goals because I got to experience that. Because that's the thing, like, you can't have vision without experience, Looking into Instagram and seeing other people live will not give you the true aligned vision that you desire. It's going to give you examples of what you could do, but it's not necessarily that it's for you. So the best way you can really decipher that is by living. It's by experimenting. And going to that open mic, it made me realize, like, I want more music in my life. Like, this is a big part of me. And I'm so tired of putting that on the side because I tell myself that it has to be that way, or because I'm focused on other things. And I realized, like, okay, I want to have a social calendar. I don't want to just have a work calendar and a work schedule for my week. I also want to have a social calendar and go to more events and do more of this and do more of that. And now that I've gone to the open mic, I know I want to do it every month. They do it monthly. I'm going to be there every fucking month. And I want to collaborate with all these other people. And I already know that I want to record my first song this year. When I say this year, I'm already talking about 2026. And so that vision could only be set because I experienced. So that's a very important part of all of this. And so then you create a vision. Then you really start understanding, like, okay, what does this feel like? Like, what do these values feel like to me? And where do you think I could find these? Where do you think I can harness this energy from? And start setting the vision, like, okay, like, I want to spend more time in nature, and I want to do more of this, and I want to do more of that. And really, like, bringing the color and the shapes and colors into life. And you can do this obviously in the form of a vision board, which is obviously what I'm going to be doing for 2026. But you can also literally just visualize it, I'm actually okay, so a little bit moment, because girl, if you want to bring this further and you really want to start setting the tone for 2026, I literally am posting a visualization for your future self to really, like, bring all this living bigger energy forward, and really so that you can discover what that might look like for you, what your soul is trying to speak to you. We are going to have that meditation on Patreon this week to accompany this episode, obviously, because now that's kind of what I really want to do. I want to pair each episode with a specific material so that you have a follow through, so that you have an applicable way of integrating the lessons and the things that we talk about here. And I'm really excited about this new era of the Girls in Growth. So definitely go check it out. It's on tier 2. Okay, if you want to go to the first tier, you can do that to support the show and also get one extra episode a month where we go into the Bad Boy Survival Guide. I don't know if you remember that anymore, but the Bad Boy Survival Guide series is still on, but now exclusively on Patreon. Once a month you get an extra episode and you get early access to these episodes. So instead of having to wait until Thursday, you can get them on Monday, like right away. Like, I'm literally recording this not Monday, Tuesday, but whatever, but basically like the beginning of the week instead of having to wait the whole fucking week to get it. So it's really exciting. And on the second tier, this is where you get the materials. This is where you go into the self-devoted girly that you want to be and really bring these lessons into life, really start showing up for yourself differently and becoming the woman that you desire to be. And soon we might have something else coming up. But so yeah, go check it out. I'm going to have the meditation released on Thursday, so it's really exciting, and it goes perfectly with this episode and with setting the energy for 2026. But also, I am creating a New Year's Eve event. I'm so excited about this. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I just felt like it would be perfect because to me, New Year's Eve, as I said before, is so important, and I really want to give you a place where you can discuss these things and really feel like you have this space and the right energy, the right setting to reflect on the year that you've had and really celebrate yourself, and also think about the lessons that you've learned, and then start setting like the tone, the vision, the goals, and share it with the group as well. So this is going to be a New Year's Eve circle, and it's exclusive for the girls in growth. Okay, you can RSVP already. I'm going to come up with the details already this week, but it's going to happen on the 21st. So it's going to be a Sunday, and I'm super fucking excited about it. Definitely, girl, DM me. There's no link yet. So there's no link yet. I'm not sure if there will be when you get this on Thursday. So go DM me on Instagram. That's the best place you can go, and just let me know if you want to join, because there's limited spots. I really want this to feel like the right people are there, and the right people are always there. And a lot of people are already like tagging me and asking me details and wanting to go and coming. So I really want you to get the opportunity before you don't have a spot and before they sell out. So definitely go check it out. And let's go back into the episode, shall we? Because as I was saying, and this is kind of my last point, setting the vision is really important. But then the follow through is more important that's what I was gonna say. But it's more important, right? This is the most important part, because sometimes we do set the vision, but then we don't really hold ourselves accountable, or we struggle to actually follow through. And I've had that, and that's why, by the way, I do think that doing a physical vision board does help. In my opinion, it did help me bring my things to life so much more quicker, and more accurately as well. But then really following through means that you're not just letting this be decided by fate, like you're taking matters into your own hands. But it also doesn't have to come from pressure or stress, because I do think that, again, like I said before, like we expect ourselves to change overnight, and that's so unfair to us. It really doesn't give us the opportunity to to grow, to actually grow, because to grow, you need to be a baby first. You know what I mean? Like to grow, you need to be a seed first. To grow, you need to be underground first. Like you cannot expect growth to happen in one day. It's not how it works. And our perfectionism really does hold us back, because we think like, okay, today we're here, tomorrow we need to have all of it figured out. Tomorrow we need to be at 100, although we haven't even taken the first step. We already want to be in the 100th, and that's unfair to us, right? So I think what's really important that you do is that you find the easiest way that you can start implementing that change. Make it easy for yourself, because you know what, like once you do that one thing, then it's going to build up a certain level of self-belief and a bit more courage and a bit more of that momentum. And then you take the next one, and then you take the next one, and your capacity to deal with that discomfort and to deal with fear, and to also recognize like, now I have proof that when I do this, like things work out, and actually it's not that bad. And so you also start gathering that proof, and your brain starts feeling less alarmed by you stepping outside of your comfort zone and you doing different things. And I think that really helps you gain that strength and that grit and that resilience and capacity to like hold all of these things. Oh my God, I'm just realizing that the lighting sucks right now. But that is really important, right? So you don't want to start with the hardest thing, with the most life-changing one. Like just start simple. Start with a Google research if you want to try something new. If you want to try more hobbies, choose one, and then go into a store, craft store or whatever, and get some materials. Or maybe you're on a low budget. Okay, like grab a piece of fucking paper and go on Pinterest and draw something and then paint it. Like it does not have to be hard. So remember that you make it harder. Your brain makes it harder just so you don't do it. It's an excuse to not do it. And when you know that, it also helps you like push a little bit more and be like, no, it's okay. Like we're going to be fine. This is fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to have it all figured out. The way you talk yourself through it matters a lot. And so to me, that's really like pivotal. That's really impactful. You want to start in the easiest way and build yourself up from that. The other thing that I really thought helped me, and I want to give you applicable ways to do this. This is why I'm bringing this last point here, although we're going to have more on the Patreon, by the way, because I'm sharing my own examples of how I've been able to do this. To me, it was really important to start putting things on my schedule. Like, rather than just saying out loud, like, oh, this week I'm going to socialize more. Oh, this week I'm going to go outside at some point. I'm going to take a walk in nature. But then, like, life happens and you kind of go like, oh, next day, tomorrow's fine. Oh, I'll do it by the end of the week. Oh, I don't have time anymore. I'll do it next week. And so you kind of continue to like postpone your change and your growth and the life that you actually want. So the best thing that you can do is like make fucking space for it. It does not matter how chaotic your schedule looks like. I literally work 30 hours a week. I have my business, which is also like, it adds at least 10, 15 more hours, I don't know, a week. So that's my entire schedule. It's like 45, 50 hours a week, I don't know. And so to have that scheduled into your calendar, into whatever, like wherever you register that's super important. And that really helped me change my life. Like, I have solo date blocks. I have socializing blocks. I have specific moments. Like, I created an entire mold around my work schedule. And I already know, like, okay, this is when I have free. But instead of just leaving it blank, I actually have a block there where I'm like solo date. Where I have, okay, today I'm socializing, you know? And I give myself at least one socializing moment. So I divided my calendar into 3. Again, I'm going to share a video on Patreon with like literally my calendar for this week, just so that you have a real example of what that looks like. But I divided my schedule into 3 calendars. So there's the work, the social, and the me time one. They're all together, but just mentally I know that like, okay, I'm first going to figure out the work part, and then I'm going to put my social calendar, and then I'm going to think about, you know, me time and how I'm going to put that in. And so having that and actually putting it into my schedule, it really does help, because it brings the opportunity. It's like, okay, this is blocked for this specifically, and this is all I'm gonna do. Because when you're in that hour block and you don't have that blocked, I think what happens is you end up distracting yourself, or you scroll a little bit more on the phone, and again, you just kind of find a way to not do it. You procrastinate it. And I can be a big procrastinator sometimes when I don't want to step outside of my comfort zone. So I found that, to me, the easiest thing, the best thing that I can do is really to put it on my calendar. And I used to not be an organized girl. I used to not be a calendar girl at all. Okay? Like, the idea of scheduling through 2 years ago, it was absolute panic. I hated it. Okay. But it really did change my life. So that was something that I started doing, and it helped me hold myself accountable. Right. So I think that's the last thing, like, really find a way to hold yourself accountable, whether that's because like you have someone that's guiding you, some kind of support, a therapist, a counsel, a coach, or you're in a membership, or you have a friend that like is there for you and pushes you a bit, or that you have, and this is also something that I really advise you to do, a weekly check-in with yourself, where you're just like, okay, how did this week go? Like, what do I want to do differently? Like, every single day, see it as an experiment, you know, instead of seeing it as like the ultimate day where if things don't go right, like everything is fucked and I suck. Like, instead of seeing it that way, it's like, okay, I should have maybe gone to bed earlier. I think tomorrow I'm gonna need to go to bed earlier. Today maybe I scrolled a bit too much on my phone, and this is not working for me because I wake up tired. And talk that way with you, you know? And then the next day you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed earlier. And then you put your phone aside and you're not scrolling anymore, but maybe you still find the urge to grab it. Or you maybe, you know, you distract yourself with something else. You can still talk to yourself and be like, okay, today was a bit better, or maybe today wasn't better, but I'm noticing that I'm still tired. So this is really important that we do this. And you know, you kind of really parent yourself through it in a healthy way. And fortunately, we did not learn how to do that in a healthy way. Am I right? But that's the most constructive thing you can do for yourself, is learning through your own process, letting it be a process. Like, I had to realize, like, okay, I need to take a nap at least once a week. And then suddenly I was like, maybe I need to take a nap every day. And then I realized that's not actually working for me, because then when I'm going to bed, I don't feel like sleeping anymore. And so, for example, I had a blocked nap today, but I noticed, like, I barely slept yesterday. Like, I was still so excited about the open mic stuff. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then it made me realize, like, I can't take a nap today. So you kind of adjust along the way, and you talk to yourself. You walk yourself through it. It doesn't have to be this like rigid thing. You can make it your own, and it's beautiful. Oh my God, my legs. And it's beautiful when we do that. And I think sometimes we really lack that kindness or that compassion or patience with ourselves, because again, we learn to be perfectionists, and we learn to be rigid and harsh with ourselves. And that's something that I'm still unlearning. And what personally really helps me lately is to just talk with myself, just have a real conversation. Like, okay, I don't think this is working. I don't think this is how I want to live. And so how do I want to live? And then explore that. And it gets to be that simple, and it gets to be, it doesn't have to be heavy, and I think that's something that I really want to promote with the Girls in Growth. It's like growth and transforming your life doesn't have to feel like a fucking chore. It doesn't have to feel heavy all the time. And it can be good. It can be fun. It can be easier, it can be smoother. And that's why I really wanted to create that space as well with the Patreon, because I feel like it gives you the way to do it. It gives you certain tools, and it gives you certain like practical ways of implementing these things, and really like creating that change for yourself, and tapping into your higher self, tapping into that alignment, and really like starting to figure that out for you, because it's so self-paced. That's what I love about the Patreon the most. You get to do it at your own pace, in your own way, find out what works for you and use it, and take advantage of those materials there. So yeah, I really think that that's what I want to say to finalize this conversation. It's like taking yourself accountable with the whole thing from a kindness place, from a place of compassion and love for yourself, because you get to give yourself the life of your dreams. I don't know what that was. You get to give yourself. Why did I sound Russian all of a sudden? You get to do that, And I think that for me has been really important. It has been so important for me to like, I want to do this open mic, and I explored, and I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but I was just like, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. And I pat myself on the back, I hug myself, I give myself some comfort, and I'm like, we'll figure it out. It's going to be okay. And I think that type of like inner work really helped me, And so opening up to life, one step at a time. It doesn't have to be from like completely closed off and shy and timid and scared of everything to, oh my God, I'm the bravest person in the world, and like YOLO and whatever, like it doesn't have to look that way. It shouldn't even, like, you're not obligated to live that way. But I do feel like it's so beautiful when you get to create this commitment with yourself of like, I want to live more. I want to experience more of life. Like, there's all these different areas of my life there's all these different areas of your life that maybe you're neglecting, and I feel like living bigger sometimes it's really looking at those. It's really looking at those and think about how you can nourish them more, because I feel like you can never live the biggest when you're just focused on fucking work, or when you're just focused on like finding romance, or when you're even just focused on finding friends. Like, I feel like there has to be a little bit of everything. That's what makes it more flavorful. That's what makes it fuller, and ultimately I feel like that's what really opens you up. So to me, those have been really the lessons that I've learned. And again, I feel like I'm going to be sharing a lot more in depth during the New York, and why do I say New York? Because it's like NY, the New Year's Eve circle. Maybe one day it's gotta be New York, you know what I mean? But during the New Year's Eve circle, I'm gonna be creating that space for us to reflect. It's gonna be like kind of a spiritual circle. There's gonna be healing moments. We're gonna do a guided meditation. We are gonna do some really beautiful inner child work. We are gonna obviously set our goals, set our vision. We're gonna celebrate the shit out of it. It's gonna feel so fucking good. This is gonna be the exact ritual that I did for myself and that I'm continuing to do, that has helped me bring so much of my vision to life and also feel like a braver version of myself, a fuller version of myself. Because yes, this year really took me out. But still, like, because I have the foundations that I have nowadays, now I am here and I get to like feel this way and live bigger because I have the tools that allow me to process shit. So sometimes your vision is also about that. Maybe one of your goals is to heal more and to like work on certain traumas that you feel like are holding you back, or letting go of a certain belief system. Like, you know, it might be that. But again, we can do that in a fun, more exciting way. And we really want to bring that excitement to 2026. So this New Year's Eve circle is the way to go. Okay. Again, there's limited spots, so definitely go check it out. It's going to happen not too far away from now. So you really want to DM me as soon as you can so that you can RSVP and be a part of the circle. I'm so excited, and I'll talk to you next week. I love you, girl. Bye.